What's up, YouTube? So had a great question come through and I thought it would make for a really great topic here. A guy recently came to a class of mine, law enforcement officer, and he inquired like, hey, what do I do with the rifle, right? Like when I go to the range and I train with pistol, I also bring my rifle. I need to get good at both of those things. He needs both of them for his job. How do you break up the training? So like how much do you shoot pistol? How much do you shoot rifle? And then are there specific things that you're doing with either one, etc. He also mentioned that he has an LPVO on his rifle due to his job, like he has to. And he said that it was a little bit harder to, do things like target focus, especially up close with the LPVO in comparison to a red dot. It's like, how do I train around that stuff? So in my opinion, super freaking smart question. Like this guy is like really, really solid in terms of what he needs to do in his training, right? Like he knows that he needs to go train. Like this is good, right? So how do I personally break it up? So if I had to give you a percentage, I would say that I shoot probably 75% pistol, 25% rifle. Would I like it to be more rifle? Yeah, for sure. I definitely would, but like I am not going to spend what it would cost to shoot more rifle. I do think that there are a lot of things that are transferable skills that you can get out of pistol and then pick up a rifle and basically apply the exact same type of principles and get those out of rifles. But you don't need a rifle to practice those things. It's like understanding principles of, take for instance, how you would want a gun to behave, or the way that you grip the gun or mount the gun to make it behave in a really predictable manner. Like really great principle. And if you knew that, like you could pick up a rifle and start training with it and kind of sort of know what to look for. But you do need to shoot the rifle if you want to become good at it. There are some things that you can do dry fire as well, but you will need to check up on some things live fire. And the live fire stuff is kind of what I wanted to talk about in this video. So if you think about it, there's only a couple different things with rifle that are like rifle centric that you need to do with the rifle. First thing is marksmanship with the rifle. Being able to mount the gun in such a way to make it behave in a really predictable manner, and being able to mount the gun in such a way to where you could like shoot it as straight as possible, as fast as possible. Really, really good things. And this is rifle centric. So you will need to shoot the rifle to figure this out. Things that I would recommend doing for this type of thing, right, is shooting doubles, shooting bills, shooting reactive bill drills, also like predictive bill drills at varying distances. With this, it's like you're trying to figure out, how do I mount the gun in such a way to where it behaves really predictably again? And how do I mount it in such a way to where like I can run the trigger as fast as I want and not move the gun off of the target as fast as I want and as long as I want and not move the gun off of the target. So exploring the way that you mount the gun. Where am I putting pressures on the gun? Like how can I make it behave the way I want it to, more or less, right? And then trying to like figure out where your hands need to go and the type of pressures, etc. I think that in and of itself, like if you ask me, hey, you got 400 rounds of pistol and 150 rounds of rifle, I would probably shoot like 100 rounds just on exploring the mount and making sure that I have the type of rifle mount that I want. From there, once you figure out the type of pressures, then you can go back to dry fire with it and start being more and more aware of, hey, are these the pressures that I want? Am I putting them in the correct places? Is that the amount of pressure that I want back into my shoulder, etc.? You can start being more and more aware of it and start honing it in dry fire, but you will need to shoot the rifle to figure this out. The other things that I think are rifle centric, at least one of them in particular, is transitions. So transitions with the rifle, a couple things you will notice will happen with rifle. Number one, as soon as you start shooting more than one target, you will feel the mount kind of go away. Like the support hands, like I tell people in classes, and when I see it, it's like the support hand just basically leaves the drill, right? Stops pulling back into the shoulder. The gun starts doing different shit, and it's like the mount just basically falls apart and transitions. The other thing that I think is rifle centric for transitions is not only how fast you need to move your eyes, like you need to move your eyes with a rifle way faster than you would need to with a pistol, which that's another topic, but I think that's a really good thing that you will learn from rifle and bring back to pistol. But like the actual mechanics of the transitions, with rifles being a little bit heavier at the front end and you having more leverage to be able to steer the thing around, I think it is really, really good to just figure out like, hey, how do I get the rifle to land exactly where I'm looking every single time? With that comes building a really good index with the rifle, which I think I've said this before, like this is a topic that is really, really overlooked, especially with rifle. The index meaning like if I look to a spot and just point at it, I know for a fact that I'm pointing at the spot. I could look and point, look and point, look and point. You want the exact same type of thing to be able to be replicated over and over and over again with the rifle. It's like I like mount the gun, look to a spot, bring it up to my face, and it's like, yep, comes exactly where I'm looking, look to another spot, comes to where I'm looking, etc. So you want the gun to come exactly to where you're looking. So like building the index, like you will do that, the majority of that work, in my opinion, in transitions. So transitions with rifle are definitely going to be something that I would practice quite a bit. And again, this is stuff that you can get out of dry fire, but like you will have to go and check up on this in live fire, simply because, at least from what I've noticed, with rifle being like your ability to shoot the rifle more aggressive, like you need to be hyper aware of what the dot is doing and how it's behaving, especially on transitions, because a lot of times you'll call a shot good and then walk up and it's like, no, that's just like squeaked out of the alpha just a little bit. It's like, man, that happened so fast, it was really hard to be aware of it. So I think that stuff, very, very good to practice with the rifle. Lastly, I would say entries and exits with the rifle. And I say entries and exits because this is going to be rifle centric as well. Like the way that you enter with the rifle might possibly be different than the way that you would with a pistol. And this is also one of the things that I believe you learn how to do this with the rifle, it'll help with the pistol. And I say that because you can do a lot of things in terms of movement with pistol that doesn't really move it around, because you're holding it out here. You have the ability to basically float it. It would be similar to like you're driving down the road, right, with a drink. And if you planted your elbow on the center console driving down a bumpy road, like the drink would spill. But if you held it up in the air and drove down a bumpy road, the drink wouldn't spill because you would be able to more or less balance it. Rifle is putting your elbow on the center console, more or less, right? So every little tiny thing that you do with movement, because it's connected to your body, means something with a rifle. So entries, exits, learn how to enter without disturbing the dot, and how to get the dot to settle as fast as possible, getting into positions. I would definitely look at stuff like that as well. And I think that, you know, it's one of those things like you become hyper aware of, you know, how things are behaving while you're looking at entries and exits, and you start getting really, really decent or good at them with rifle. And again, this is one thing that will transfer over to pistol. The LPVO thing. So he mentioned that is definitely harder to shoot an LPVO up close, and I will definitely agree with him. There's a couple of reasons for this. The first one being, and I'm not bagging on, you know, anyone's purchase. I have LPVOs, like I will not get rid of them. I think they are great for their intended purpose, but they are harder to shoot up close simply because of the optic body being bigger. It's harder for your non-dominant eye to see around it because it's closer to your face, bigger optic body. It's harder for your eyes to converge on the target instead of being back here because of these things. The other thing that is hard about them is they have parallax. And so you're always wanting your eye, like your brain wants your eyes to stay in the tube so you can see the reticle at all times. And transitions are one of those places where like plant your eyes on a target and then start pushing the gun over towards the target. And it's like with the LPVO, you really don't see the dot until the very last minute because of the parallax issues that you have, the eye box. So that's one of those things. It's like you would just have to work around that. Is it easy? Absolutely not. Things that I would recommend doing, especially in dry fire, is occluding the LPVO. You occlude the front of the LPVO, it will show you like how to put your eyes on the target. It's not going to keep you from staring at the dot, but it will definitely make you more aware of when you're looking at the target and not the reticle. So occluding the LPVO, especially in dry fire, I think really good thing to figure out how to use it. But again, it will never be a red dot. It will never do what red dot does. Red dot's way easier to do the fast, nasty shooting up close, simply because there's no parallax, it's a smaller body, etc., etc. But can you shoot with an LPVO fast and accurate? Hell yeah. There's lots of dudes that do it. Lots of dudes that do it at a very high level. So it's not out of the realm of being, working to where you can actually get good at the thing, but it is going to be a little bit harder to do the fast, nasty shooting. But I guarantee you, when you have something smaller or further away, you will be glad that you have an LPVO. So anyway, that's what I got on breaking up training between pistol and rifle, at least for this guy's situation. So if you guys have any questions, comments, concerns, drop them below. Goodbye.